Alright, the reason for this video is because I want to give testimony basically as to what happened Sunday. This was August the 4th, and this is 2019, and it was probably about around like 5 p.m. or something like that. Okay, so I spent most of my day Sunday at the park, climbing trees and, just hanging out in nature, just pretty much doing my usual thing of just trying to be at peace to myself and uh, trying to be free from being harassed by these perpetrators that law enforcement seem to always send my way to provoke me and to constantly cause strife and conflict and things of that nature. So, spent my usual day at the park. So I leave the park and I head over to this one church that was in this area that I actually used to work in. I used to work at this warehouse called Patrician over there off of Old Galveston Road near Clear Lake. I think it's called Clear Lake Road or Clear Lake Boulevard or something like that. So there's a church over there. Don't remember the name of the church. Um, so, anyways, I go to this church, and of course, when I get there, nobody's there, right? Nobody's at the church at all. There are no cars. I mean, there are other vehicles, but those are vehicles that have to do with like taking, maybe picking people up to bring to church and then taking them home, you know, uh, authorized vehicles for that church facility. So, anyways, I get there. I park at the far corner of the church, kind of close to where like some dumpsters were, and there's like a little creek that's back there, or whatever. So, and I'd been to this church several times before. There was nothing new about me being at that church or whatever. So, basically, I back into my little spot, and I noticed not even 10 minutes of me being there, there's this other SUV that pulls up. They don't park directly next to me, but they park at the far end. But they actually park, within sight of my vehicle, and I obviously could see their vehicle. So I had my camera rolling at the time. Um, I just kind of made a little commentary on it. I didn't make too much of a big deal of it, and I usually don't. I just always just kind of record or whatever. But unless they get real close. Anyways, so this person sits in the in their car, never gets out or whatever. And then I noticed another vehicle approaches. It was like a gray Honda or something like that, four-door sedan Honda with a car full of people. It's like some Mexicans. So they pull up and they park a whole lot closer to me. Okay, like two parking spaces close to my vehicle. Okay, so that immediately put me on alert. So I'm like, okay, here we go with this BS again. Okay, every time I go somewhere, it's empty. There's nobody there. All of a sudden, within minutes, somebody else is showing up, almost as if like I have some sort of rendezvous with this person, or we're supposed to be meeting up type of thing. So, I don't say anything. I just simply get out my phone, and I start recording. And I'm just recording them, while they're getting out of their car or whatever. It looks like they're getting fishing poles out and things of that nature. And I'm making my little commentary, talking into my phone and stuff like that. And one of the individuals says to me, "Oh, well, we didn't even know you were here. Well, we just came over here to go fishing in the creek." Now, I'm gonna tell you something. That creek was dry as hell. Okay, it had been so hot, and even the little rain that has come through, that was soaked up quickly because of the heat. Okay, law enforcement, they are sending people out to deliberately and intentionally provoke and hinder you in such a manner that it will cause a response or some sort of reaction so as to try to get you locked up in jail. Okay, these people knew exactly what they were doing. Okay, so I'm making my little commentary on my phone and whatnot. When he said what he said to me, I really didn't even respond. I was just still talking into my phone, just making my commentary. Okay. And then I hear one of the other guys said something to the effect of, "Get the fuck out of here." Okay. So, mind you, I had spent most of the day at the park, but I was also at this other church that I got kicked out from. One of the deacons came out and told me that he started asking me questions like he's the police. And I informed this deacon that I had already spoken to the pastor of that church before, and he gave me permission to be on that property. and there's a sign at that church that actually says sanctuary. Okay, now this is a church in League City. So that deacon came out and basically was tried to tell me that I couldn't be there anymore or whatever. And I said, well, you're not the pastor of the church. The pastor told me it was okay for me to be there, but this was a while back. So to save myself from having law enforcement encounters, I left. I fled from that place without further incident. I just left. Okay. So I had been running all day from place to place. Went to the park, went to a few other spots, just constantly trying to find places of rest and peace to myself. This time, I chose not to run. Okay. Usually, when perps show up like that, I'll make my videos and then I'll go on about my business. But this time, I chose not to run. Okay. So he said something to the effect of "get the fuck out of here," and he said it in a directed conversation kind of way. Okay. So I'm still making my commentary. I'm not worried about it or whatever. They go down into the creek area. Okay. So what I decided to do is I get in my car and I drove down to get video footage of the other individual that had parked on the other end, but actually she had kind of moved towards the front of the church and was just kind of like parked closer to like the road, I guess, the main road. So I swung by there because I'm trying to document everything so that if anything happens, I can put all the pieces together and say, hey, look, I came here, there was nobody here, I was here first. All of a sudden, these people are showing up. There's plenty of parking spaces. I mean, it's a big church, and there are plenty of open parking spaces. So why did this person choose to park right next to me? You understand what I'm saying? But anyways, so what I did was after I got footage of that other vehicle that she was driving like an SUV, like a brownish looking, was it a RAV4 or something like that? I get footage of her face, and then I roll back to where I was parked initially. This time, I backed my vehicle in such a manner to where my front was facing their vehicle because I wanted to have my camera set up in full spectrum view of their vehicle so that if anything happens, again, I'll have documentation. Do you know that I kept having electronic issues with my phones and my recording devices? Every time I tried to push a button to keep it recording, for whatever reason, it wouldn't record. It wasn't an issue of space and storage and things of that nature. That wasn't the case at all. Okay? My phone was being messed with. So what ends up happening is, as I'm backed up, I'm sitting in my car. I have my scriptures out. I was gonna like read some scripture and just kind of chill there till nightfall, and then go to the gym, have my shower, and then head back to Galveston because I had to go to work, for Monday morning. That was hopefully my agenda. Okay. So I'm sitting back in my car. This perp rolls up, blasting rap music. This Mexican dude. He parks in front of my car, basically kind of like blocking me in, right? He then gets out the car and he approaches me. He walks right up to my door and he says, "What are you doing taking pictures of people? Why are you out here taking pictures and video of people? What's wrong with you?" This, that, and the other. And I'm looking at this dude like, okay, who are you? And he was like, "Why are you taking pictures of them? Why are you messing with them? They're not doing nothing to you, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Look, there is no law that says that I cannot record. I can record whatever I want to. I am outside in an open space in a public area." Okay, so he's trying to go like back and forth with me. So I get to the point to where I'm telling him, "You need to get the hell away from my car. You need to get the hell away from me." He starts cussing me out, insulting me, saying all kind of crazy stuff. I say, "Look, I'm telling you to get away from my car. Please get away from my car." The dude still would not move away. He's still talking his mess or whatever. So I sat there a little quiet. I put my hand on my pistol. Once again, he didn't see my gun, but for some reason, he automatically knew that I had a weapon, that I had a gun specifically. He was like, "Oh, I ain't scared of no gun. You pulling your gun out and all that. I'll take that gun from you, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, all right. So I'm still sitting in my car. Now, mind you, the AC in my vehicle doesn't work. I told him, I said, "Look, you got me blocked in." So what he does is he moves his car and then he backs it in on the a few parking spaces over, maybe like two parking spaces over. And then he gets out of his car again and he's still talking his crap. But this time he's not as close to my car. So I'm sweating in my car. It's hot. Usually I have my doors open to get cross ventilation, but that wasn't the case because I had to keep my doors closed because of the psychopath. But anyway, so I decided to get out the car because I needed to get some air. And once again, I was not going to run. I had been running all day. I'm so used to running from this crap, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired. I go to these places. I'm not doing any wrong. I go to these places to be by myself and not be bothered, and they keep sending these individuals to me to try to start trouble. You understand what I'm saying? So I stood my ground, and I was standing outside the car trying to get some fresh air. He's still talking his mess or whatever. Then he decides he wants to get closer to me. And then as he's doing that, his other friends are actually coming back from the creek area or whatever, coincidentally, right? As he's starting to get louder and louder. So they show up. So he's waving his hands. He's like swinging. He swung at me one time like he wasn't trying to hit me. But what he was trying to do, I guess, was trying to make me flinch. He was like kind of chesting me out. So he swung at me, didn't hit me. I didn't flinch. I just looked at him. And then the next thing I know, he gives his phone to one of his buddies and tells him to record or whatever. So when he does that, he then rushes towards my feet. Well, my legs rather. So he rushes towards my legs. He lifts me up in the air and he drops me on the ground. Okay, so I'm on the ground, and I already know what's about to happen. His friends are about to jump in, and you know the story from there. There's kicking, there's punching, all that kind of stuff. I deliberately did not fight back. I didn't do that for a reason. If had I fought back against that many people, because mind you, there was already 4 people, then plus him, I think it was like either 4 or 5 people total. Okay, so I said, you know what? I'm just gonna lay there and I'm just gonna take the punches. I'm gonna take the punches. When I have a chance to get up, I'm gonna get up and then just go from there. So I got up, walked over to my vehicle. Well, what he said when I was on the ground, he was like, "Let me get my one. Let me get my one." He was telling his other little friends to let him get his one punch or whatever because I kind of had him in a headlock, and I was gonna flip him over and go to work. But again, like I said, I decided to not fight back. I said, you know what? They're gonna put knots and bruises on me. That's fine. I let it happen. When they were done, I got up, walked over to my car, got my firearm out, and I shot the dude in his leg. I aimed for his thigh and shot him in the thigh. Now, when I did that, I knew like something. It was like the Most High was telling me it was okay for me not to run. It was like the Most High told me, you don't have to run this time, son. Stand your ground and you fight this one. And that's exactly what I did. And the Most High was like, he was telling me, not like in a voice, but it was like, if this communication between my mind and my heart, don't kill him. Strike him down, but don't kill him. So that's what I did. I got my firearm out and I shot him in his thigh. I aimed for his thigh, hit him right in the thigh, just the way I wanted it to happen. So he then lays on the ground, and then I turn around with my firearm, looking for the other dudes, and all I saw was dust. I mean, I didn't even know concrete or grass could even accumulate dust. I mean, their feet, they were running so hard and so fast, like they were literally just making dust out of nothing. Because after they heard the one shot, that they started to flee or whatever. So he's on the ground crying like a little bitch, begging me for his life and all that kind of stuff. And again, I had no intentions of killing this dude. I just wanted to teach him a lesson. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm saying this also to tell other targeted individuals I do not advocate violence. I'm not an advocator of violence or anything like that. But you have to understand, and TIs know exactly where I'm coming from with this. We are constantly sought after. We are constantly persecuted. We are constantly harassed. We are constantly having our lives deliberately and intentionally hindered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay? Me personally, I've endured just losing everything. A lot of materialistic things that I've had, I've lost. I've lost jobs because of these people. And I've always remained very cool and calm. Even after they do this stuff to me and they want to call law enforcement to come over and check my temperature to see if I'm pissed off so they can also try to kill me or shoot me, and I still don't give them that. You see what I'm saying? It's like they're scratching their heads like, what is it about this dude? Like, why can't we get to him? But see, The Bible talks about how when the wicked try to set traps for you, they end up falling in the pit that they've dug. And that's exactly what happened with him that day. I let them have a free for all. I let them stomp on me and kick my head and do all this other extra crap. Let me show you the wound on my knee. I'm not gonna show y'all my face, but I'm gonna show y'all the wound on my thigh. Okay, not my thigh, but my knee. Hold on, make sure it's clear. You see that? That's from when I got dropped onto the ground. Okay. I also have one on my shoulder here. Hopefully y'all can see that. Let me get in the sun so you can get view of it. Then I have some other little scrapes and bruises, and I haven't even showed y'all my face. I'm not gonna do that. But so yeah. So the Most High talks about how these people like to set traps for you. They like to lurk and hide and wait for you in hidden places, and then come out and do their evil deeds. So that particular day, the Most High granted me the authority to strike this dude down, and that's exactly what I did. He lied there like a little bitch. He cried for his life. He begged me to call the police. No mas, no mas. You good? I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Now you're sorry. Okay. So, anyways, I proceeded to call law enforcement. Now, mind you, I never call law enforcement when dealing with perps. It's very rare. I have done it on a few occasions when they want to sit up there and try to lie and said that I was being a problem when they approached me. So yeah, when they try to set me up in that manner, it's like I try to get the how can I put it? Kind of like an advance on it. Like I try to like contact them so that when law enforcement gets there, it doesn't look like I'm the bad guy. But really, it doesn't matter because law enforcement knows what's going on before they get there anyway. So going back to the story, I call law enforcement. I let them know that I just got assaulted. I didn't mention anything about the shooting as of yet because, again, they already know what happened. I told them I got assaulted. I told them I was at a church. I didn't know the name of the church. So I drove around the front and I informed them. I said, look, I'm not leaving the scene. I'm just driving around to the front of the church so I can give y'all the name of the church so that y'all can know what church to come to. So the operators asked me for the address and all that. I said, look, I don't see no address or posted numbers. I just see the name of the church. I'm in Clear Lake City, and I'm sure this is the only church with that name. So go ahead and get some officers out. So while I'm doing that, I drove back to where the perp was lying on the ground, and I parked not too close to him, but I kind of backed my vehicle in another parking space. And he's begging and crying. He's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna bleed out" and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting up there looking at him stupid, not really saying too much to him. But anyways, the first responders there were actually a fire truck, so they pulled up. I kind of gave them the gist of what had happened or whatever. They asked me if I needed medical attention. I said yes. I've been injured. And then I told them that dude over there, he has been shot, and I let them know that I don't have any weapons on me. Uh, After the shooting happened and the other ones ran off, I actually unloaded my gun. I took the bullet out the chamber, and I had it pretty much in a safe position, I guess. And I separated the clip. Like I had the clip on top of the car, and then I think I put the gun further down on the concrete closer to where my car was so that it was clear that I didn't have my weapon on me. And then I had on a tank top and shorts, so you could easily see that if I had a weapon on me, it would kind of bulge out with the kind of shorts that I was wearing. But anyway, so the fire truck guy told me to sit on the steps of the fire truck so that he could try to treat me, but then the constable show up. Constable shows up. I basically, just told him that I was assaulted, and that individual down there, I basically it was self-defense. So he then puts me in handcuffs, of course. He says that I'm being detained. I'm not being arrested. They just need to, do a little investigation, find out what's going on. Now, mind you, the constables, they are not really. They deal mainly with traffic. They're not really dealing with with crimes or assaults or things of that nature. So they just basically were in the area and they just showed up on the scene to kind of get some information to help out the Houston Police Department, which was the actual investigating department. You know, they were helping them out by trying to get as much information as they could. So I was in the back of the cop car forever. I was sweating profusely. Um, it was just a complete nightmare. And I continued to pray to the Father, and I just said something to the effect of, Father, you've always been my deliverer. You've always been my helper. And I've always had faith in you, and I've always had trust in you. And I know that you see everything that I've dealt with and everything that's going on with law enforcement and these workers of iniquity. And I just pray, Father, that you will come to my aid and you will deliver me once again, as you always have in the past, Father, that I may come and give testimony to your great works and the things that you have done for me. And that's exactly what I said to, it was like my little prayer that I was saying to the Father. So I continue to, sit in the back of the vehicle from time to time. The cops would come in there and check on me and be like, do you want us to turn the air up some? We see that you're sweating a lot, stuff like that. I even had one law enforcement officer lie to me because, again, they try to play the whole, what is your name, date of birth, and all that. I said, sir, well, am I under lawful arrest? I guess they thought because I was in this position now to where I'm in handcuffs that I was going to be scared and be like, oh, just give them all the information. But no, I didn't give them anything at first until he lied to me and then said that, oh, well, you're now under arrest. So I was like, okay, well, now I'm obligated to give you that information because you have just stated that I'm under lawful arrest. So I went on ahead and gave him my name and date of birth. Come to find out, another officer came up to the door and he mentioned, he was like, you're still being detained, okay? We're still trying to do the investigation. We're waiting for HPD to get here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait a minute, that other officer just lied to me. He told me that I was under arrest, so which is it? He was like, no, you're not under arrest. I said, well, can you call that other officer over here so that, we can find out why he lied to me? And then he says to me, he was like, well, I had nothing to do with that, so I don't know what was said, and he's not here right now. And I was like, here we go with this BS. And they wonder why a lot of people don't cooperate with them or don't trust them. Okay. So, anyways, I'm still sitting in the back of the car. HPD finally shows up. They get me out of the constable's car. The tow trucks are there ready to tow people's vehicles and all that kind of stuff. They had the other individuals in handcuffs. By that time, they had already taken the guy that I had shot in the ambulance to the hospital. Okay. So they transferred me into HPD's vehicle. And mind you, after the incident happened, when the police showed up, all these other people that I had not seen nowhere near the place had showed up. They all looked like they were perps, just there to try to come against me or to try to put some little word in or whatever. I'm sitting up there like, Father in heaven, all these people against one person. And I just kept saying, please rise up for me, Father. Send your mighty angels to fight for me on my behalf. So anyways, they put me in the HPD's vehicle, and they're still doing their investigation. He gets one of the officers. He then comes up to the car, and he's telling me that I'm being placed under arrest for felony possession of a firearm. And I'm looking like, huh? Felony possession of a firearm? Because I knew that they couldn't charge me with an assault because that was clearly self-defense. With the injuries that I sustained, the bruises and the scrapes on my leg and my shoulder and all that kind of stuff, I mean, it was just cut and dry. The dude didn't have any marks on him because I never laid hands on him. They never touched him, not one time. The only time I touched him was when I kind of had him in a headlock, but I let that go so that they could do whatever it is that they were trying to do. So anyways, he said felony possession of a firearm. I said, sir, that doesn't make any sense because I have a valid license to carry. You've seen my credentials in my wallet. Obviously, you've pulled all that information out. This charge does not make any type of sense whatsoever. I also informed him that I'm a licensed security officer. I have a non-commissioned license and a commission license. I also have a private investigator's license as well through the state of Texas. So, I'm not understanding this charge. And the guy seemed like he may have been like a rookie. It seemed like he was a little bit nervous or just kind of like, I don't know. I got the sense that the guy was like new or whatever. Okay. So I said, please, can you double check? And he goes into the system And then he tells me that, well, it shows that you have these convictions of assault on your record. And I'm like, look, I don't have any conviction. I've never been convicted of anything, of any crime. Something is terribly wrong here. So he was trying to base it off of that. And I said, look, sir, please, you seem, I had to stroke the ego. Like you seem like you're very intelligent and you seem like you're really good at what you do. But all I'm saying is, and I'm not trying to give you guys a hard time, but I'm just trying to fight for myself here. It's not that I'm not trying to cooperate. I hope y'all don't hold any of this against me. And, they understood. They seemed like they were kind of nice about it and they were really trying to help me out. So I just politely asked them, I said, look, is there any way that you can give me a sergeant out here? Because, we definitely need to get to the bottom of this. I'm homeless. I live out of my vehicle. I do have a job that I have to be at Monday morning. So I'm trying to fight as hard as I can to get this thing really cleared up so that, we can have a resolution here. So he said, okay, I'll call the sergeant for you. So I was like, thank you so much. So he calls the sergeant out. The sergeant shows up. And it just seemed like it was a lot of shady stuff that was going on because I noticed like they kept taking off their body cams. Like they were calling the DA back and forth and trying to get everything situated and cleared up. And I noticed like they were taking their body cams out. And I made damn sure that I asked the question because I know that I'm being recorded in those police vehicles. So I made it a point to clearly ask, why are they taking off their body cams? And why is it that you can't have the conversation with the DA in front of me so that I can hear what's going on? Why are y'all having to go off on the other side of vehicles and basically trying to hide or whatever? You get what I'm saying? So, they're like, we're just trying to get to the bottom of everything, just hang tight, we're trying to get this thing cleared up for you or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I sat there still, being cool, calm, and collected and patient. I'm still sweating profusely. By that time, I'm dehydrated. I don't know how I didn't pass out from being, in that car. I mean, they had the AC going, but it was just so hot. And considering that my adrenaline was pumping and everything that had happened and stuff like that, I was just trying to like, I don't know. I still stayed cool. It's like the Most High kept me calm or whatever, even though I knew the whole thing was just BS and a setup, anyways. So by this time, they had towed my car. My car had got towed, right? I was going to tell the sergeant, I said, Sergeant, there are documents in my laptop bag that I can show you that will prove to you that I don't have any convictions of anything, that I've never been convicted of anything. But they had already towed my car. So I started to see, I guess it was like the Most High or the Most High was working through me or something, but I kept looking him straight in his eyes, and it was like he could see the truth in me. So it was like he even felt more compelled to really look into it more and really try to help me out. So the suspense was killing me. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, dang, it looks like I might get a break here or whatever. But then again, I'm like, I wasn't really sure. But nonetheless, I still had faith in my Father, and I just kept saying, your will, Father, not mine. If it is your will for me to go to jail or whatever, I know that you see everything and you have purpose for all things that you do. Your ways are not our ways, and the way you understand things is not the way that we might not understand your ways or whatever. You guys get what I'm trying to say. I'm just kind of at a loss for words a little bit, but so anyways, the sergeant looked into anything. He talked to the DA more, and you know, they let me. He let me out the car, and he took the handcuffs off, and he just basically said that yeah, everything did check out. That you do have a valid license to carry, and what else did he say? Then he just wanted me to give him more detail as to what happened and stuff like that. By this time, he took the handcuffs off me. He had me sit on the curb, and I was just sitting there, kind of chilling, relaxing, and just casually telling him what had happened. And I even explained to him about the gang stalking, and he didn't call me crazy. He didn't say that I needed mental help because I was able to explain it and articulate it so well and intelligently. It was like there was no way he could really like challenge what I was saying, because he was telling me like he's been on the police force for so long and he's seen some of everything. So he didn't discount anything that I was telling him. I also told him about the FBI. I still had that card in my wallet that showed proof that I had an encounter with the FBI, that I did have a meeting with them and they interviewed me, and that FBI agent told me that he knew what was going on, that he knew that I wasn't crazy, but there's nothing they can do about it. They have their hands tied. So I gave them everything that I possibly could to get myself out of this crazy, ridiculous situation. So, um, yeah, they even brought my car back, like the tow truck, like the sergeant got on the radio and dispatched to the tow truck driver and had them bring my car back so I wouldn't have to spend money to get my car out of the impound and stuff like that. So there was some street theater going on. I'm not gonna lie. They said a couple of, I guess, little catchphrases that I've used in some of my videos, and that's it seems to be a theme with them. Like whenever I have encounters, they always like to give me hints that they're watching my videos, so they might make a statement or say something that I've said in my videos, so as to kind of like mock me or to label me as some sort of hypocrite, like the Asian cop, the one that I said that was kind of like a rookie or whatever. He asked me when he put me in the car, because he was asking me, "Oh, what scriptures were you reading in the Bible?" I said I was just going through like some Psalms and Proverbs and stuff like that. And what he said to me was, he said that he said, "Do you know what my favorite scripture is?" He said it's like Matthew 5:10 or 5:3 or something like that. He says, "Blessed are the sons, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God." Now, if you go back to my video where I had the damn, I gotta put the link. I gotta go back and look at it myself. As a matter of fact, I think I have my other phone on top of the car. But I made a reference to Pearland Police having a plaque in front of their municipal building at the police station, and it says that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. And I had made mention of that in one of my videos when they had encountered me for the 4th of July, hindering my peace at that church. So it's like these cops know about my videos and they're trying to take little smidgets and phrases that I've said and try to throw it back in my face. And that is so invalid of them doing that. That doesn't even count for anything, because that's all I try to do is seek peace and be to myself. But they're constantly sending people to fuck with me. So you're trying to accuse me of being a hypocrite or not being a peacemaker when that's all I try to do is go places, be to myself, to be at peace. But you're sending devils, you devils are sending devils to me to mess with me and then try to say that I'm not the peacemaker. So I was just kind of like, whatever. I didn't even argue with him on that. I just, I wasn't really in a situation to argue. But anyways, that was the second time that the Father in heaven has delivered me out of handcuffs within a week. As you guys know, in my previous video, a few videos back, I was detained early one morning when I had to go to work, because some idiot was all looking through my car and putting their eyeballs through my windows and just trying to like give me the impression like they're gonna break in or something like that. But because I told them to get away from my car, basically didn't put a firearm at them. I did have my hand on my firearm, but never pointed it at them. Yes, I did cock it, but yet they lied to law enforcement and said I pointed a weapon and then got me detained. And I believe that they probably did something to my gun. These people are so slick and trying. They're not really slick, because it's like I see everything that they're doing, but it was like that was a reason for them to just go into my vehicle and just search and do whatever evil that they were trying to do, so as to possibly set me up for the next encounter. So I thought about that as well. It's like as soon as that happened, then not even like 4 days later, this crap happened. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I don't even know what to think about this stuff. And so anyways, where was I at? So yeah, all praises and glory be unto the Father in heaven, he who delivers his children out of the snare of the devil's mouth. All praises and glory be unto you, Father. These devils hate when you stand up to them, when you don't let them get the best of you. You know, when they're being mean to you and you don't put up with it or you don't bow down. These are the tactics that they do to try to get you down. They try to get you locked up. They try to get you set up. They send people to come try to beat you up and jump you. They'll never send one person to deal with you. Always remember that. Because the minute you get the best of them and you're whooping their ass, you best believe those other perps are going to jump in. They're fucking cowards. Please believe me when I tell you these people are cowards. They always work in groups. You should never fear any of them. And the Father granted me the authority to stand tall and bold, and I prevailed. So I hope this is encouragement to you guys. Again, I'm not an advocate of violence. I simply protected myself, and rightfully so. You've seen the injuries that I've sustained. I haven't even showed you the injuries on my face, but that was enough that I was released You understand what I'm saying? You have to learn how to speak up for yourself. Don't let these people make you think that you're at a dead end, because that's what they want. And they're feeding off of your anxiety. They're feeding off of the suspense that you're experiencing. These reptilians, these lizards. So don't ever let them get the best of you, ever. Always stand tall and always stand in boldness and righteousness. No weapon formed against any of the Father's children shall prosper. The weapon was forming all through the week with my first detainment. The weapon was forming. When I got into the altercation with the perp and I had to shoot his ass, the weapon was forming, but in the end it did not prosper. So all praises and glory be unto the Father in heaven. I told my father that I was hesitant on making this video at first, but I had to do this for my fellow targeted individuals so that they can see that the Father truly does deliver his children. You have to have faith. You have to know within your heart that he will do it for you. Don't ever let these devils get the best of you, because that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? So I fired that weapon, just want to be clear, in self-defense, because I had got jumped by several people. It was like 4 or 5 people against one person. You call that a fair fight? You think you won that? I don't think so. I don't think so. And let that be a lesson to that perp that's still in the hospital right now. Let that be a lesson to you. Change from your evil and wicked ways, because obviously the Father may have some favor in you. I could have easily taken your life, and it would have been justified in doing so. But I chose not to, because I have a heart. And hopefully that experience will cause you to draw closer to the Father in heaven. Hopefully. I pray that it does. Again, I don't hate anybody, but if you come for me, if you put me in a position to where you're harming me, you're drawing blood, I'm going to do everything within my power to protect myself. And if you don't know by now, I don't fear death. I'm not scared of nobody. There is no death for God's children. Even the wicked, there's no death for the wicked, because their destiny is eternal damnation, is eternal suffering. You will live forever suffering, eternally. So yeah, there's no death for you either. There's no death for you either. Man, that's a beautiful sunset. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Don't let these people get the best of you. It's like I watched angels and demons working through these cops right before my eyes. It was like I started to see some changes, some things moving around, some things shifting while I was in the back of the car. Like I'm seeing this all play out. I'm just set back in my person, in my zone, in my body, and it was like I was looking through my spiritual eyes, and it was like I was seeing the Most High working for me. That's all I asked him to do. I said, Father, please work for me. Please. I strive every day to do good. I strive every day to try to get back on my feet, to try to help other people. Even in my adversity and poverty, I still help people. And I just pray that you continue to keep me, Father, so that I can be influence to others, so I can, be motivation to other people, to continue to be motivation. Because I know there are people that watch my videos that draw strength from my survival and how I handle certain situations. So again, I'm not advocating going out and doing no mass shootings or nothing like that. My situation, what happened, it was warranted for me to use the course of action that I used. And everybody walked away alive. Okay? So, all praises and glory be unto the Father in heaven. And you guys let me know what you think. If you think I was wrong, hey, put it in the comments and let me know I was wrong. I know there's a lot of perps that put comments on my page. If those of you that have been avid viewers for a long time, that have kept up with my videos and paid attention to the comments, there's a lot of people that come out of nowhere sometimes that I've never seen before. and you'll notice them, they'll have these weird names, like these inappropriate names and stuff like that. Like HIV awareness. Like who names their channel HIV awareness? But then when you click on their channel, there's nothing about HIV awareness. It's showing some other videos that's trying to give subliminal messages and trigger things to try to get you or make you feel some type of way. You know, these people aren't slick. And just because I respond to you, don't think that I don't know that you're a perp. But anyways, for those of you that are truly targeted, just pay attention to that and you'll notice it. Um, so yeah, I did what I had to do to get out that situation, and it is what it is. All right, all praises and glory be unto the Father once again. And I pray that the Father in heaven will place his hand of protection around each and every one of you. I pray that he continues to send his mighty warring angels to continuously battle the devil and his minions. For as it says in Scripture, the battle is not that of ours, but that of the Father in heaven. So continue to put all your battles in his hand. And if you feel compelled to do certain things and you feel in your heart it's right to do, and it's in the name of protecting yourself, by all means do it. You know, these people are harming us every fucking day. Every day they're doing things to hinder our lives, and nobody is giving us justice. No one ever has our back. So don't you feel bad if you have to do something that's unusual in order to keep yourself afloat. You know, I hated that I had to fire, you know, shoot a bullet at another person and pierce their flesh. I felt that when I shot that dude. I felt it. He wasn't the only one who got hurt from that. Like, I felt that shit. You know, even when he was begging me for his life when he was laying there or whatever, like, I still, it was like in my heart, I felt that shit. I was like, you know, you fucking idiot. You're going out here doing the devil's work, and look at you now. Look at how far that shit has gotten you. Going out here doing the devil's work. You know? That stuff don't make no kind of sense. You do the devil's work, you face the consequences of it. These people don't seem to understand I have supernatural protection. The Father, he protects me. Whatever setups you try to set up on me, you best believe that my Father in heaven is always going to be there with me. He's never going to let me suffer or anything like that. This tow truck has been passing through here like a whole bunch of... See, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And these people wonder why I'm always recording. This is like the second time this tow truck has passed through here, and I'm just minding my own business. You get what I'm saying? And y'all see why I record? Do y'all see? I'm not flagging nobody down for help. My hazard lights aren't on. I've been at this place long enough. Anyways, you guys stay strong. Hang on, 42 minutes in. Hopefully YouTube will allow me to... I don't think I've ever had this long of a duration of video before. But the devil is always working. Don't ever get comfortable. That's another thing I want to say. You know, always stay on alert. You never know what could happen. I totally did not expect having to draw my firearm and shooting somebody on that Sunday. That totally wasn't even on my mind at all. At all. I promise you. So let this be a lesson to you guys. If you know, be smart about making moves like that. You know, make sure you're definitely justified. Let these people hit you first. Don't get in a situation where you lash out at them. You understand what I'm saying? And put marks on them, because they will definitely, that's what they want, so they can get you locked up. With my situation, it was without a shadow of a doubt. It was obvious because they didn't have no marks on them at all. Not a single one, because I didn't hit any of them. Okay? So I just want to be clear on that. All these people against one person, all these people against us, all of us that are targeted and scattered out throughout the whole world. We got the whole world against us. You try to explain this to a commoner, you know, they think that you're crazy, or why you know, why is this happening to you, or, you know, why would they spend all this money? You know, it almost doesn't even seem like it even makes sense to even try to explain this to these people. A lot of these people that are in these churches have no idea. They sitting up there thinking they going through persecution because they can't afford to pay, they don't know how they gonna pay their rent. Ain't nobody fucking with them. Ain't nobody systematically or deliberately trying to keep them down. They're just They just ain't got it. They ain't got all their money to pay their rent. So yeah, I'm persecuted. I'm one of God's children. You know, I can't pay my rent, so I gotta be one of God's children. You know, that's the kind of shit that these people, a lot of them, the mindset that they have, such meaningless and mediocre things. You know, you want to know what true persecution is? You know, get on here and search for targeted individuals and watch people's videos that are posting and putting their persecutions every day, whether it's with law enforcement or the cronies that law enforcement send out to fuck with you. You don't know nothing about persecution. It's not about money. It's not about you prospering in this world, you know,